Are we live? Excuse me. All right, let's refresh. Wrong page. Come on.
You're on.
I'm on.
Coughing.
Choking. Come on. Page. I'm just trying to get it to show me what's going on.
Let me turn off the music.
I think it's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't not bother me. Get it to show me what's going on. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just checking everything. Yeah, I don't hear the music. Do whatever you want with it.
I think it's fine. Yeah,
Okay.
It not bother me. Get it to show me.
All right. All right. I officially turned my phone off. Okay. Good morning. Sorry, we're just always trying to make sure that we are spot on before I start talking. So I have the iPad turned completely away from me today so that I can hold stuff up for you guys, and when it's upright, it'll be facing you guys and not backwards, which means I can't see anything. I can't see me. I can't see your comments. I can't see anything, but that's why Barb's here. So Barb's checking the comments. If you have anything to ask me, just remember, be kind of specific about it, just in case we don't get to your question right away. Just want to make sure that that we can answer them. Here, hold on one sec. You can write on the back of that if you want something a little bit bigger. So, excuse me. So we're just going to go through the little bit of housekeeping and stuff right now, a couple little announcements, and then we're going to talk about interfacing. So first of all, let me see here. Do me a huge favor, all of you, if you would not mind. Sometimes technology is not always our friend, as we all know. And I found that recently, for some odd reason, some of my emails are not going through to people and they think that I'm not responding to them. If you would add, especially now because we're starting the 30 days of giveaways today, if you would add my email address to your contact list, the Jessica@SoManyCreationsNY.com, it will help when we email back and forth. And if I email you to tell you that you won, that way you get that and it doesn't go to your spam folder. And check your spam folder today. That's just a little PSA for all you guys. If you haven't checked it in a while, check it, because you never know. There might be something in there more than just the nonsense that always goes to spam. So there's that. Excuse me. I don't know why I can't clear my throat today. Next week, and only next week, just Friday the 31st, I will be doing a Facebook Live at 10 a.m. So that's 7 a.m. California time. I'm sorry to all my West Coast people, but I have somewhere that I have to go, and the sooner I can get there, the better. I'm helping out at Log Cabin Fabrics. I've mentioned them and tagged them a few times. We are having an event during. We're going to see how it goes. It's going to be a first for all of us. And I think my job might be bouncer at the door to check and make sure we don't have too many people coming in. I don't know. But if you guys are interested, I can show you what we're doing over there. I might even do a live from their page just for fun, but on Friday and only next Friday. And I will remind you guys during the week, 10 a.m. and it will be a quick one. I have something I will hopefully be able to show you next week, and something else I can definitely show you next week. So that's all I'm telling you. I'm not going to tell you anything else. So next week, 10 o'clock, and again, I'll save it if it's too early for you. So don't worry about that. Our Facebook group has 349 members, and you guys are awesome. There's so much stuff posted on there. So if you are not a member of the Facebook group, maybe you want to be member 350. We're so excited that it's growing, and it's such a positive, happy group. So if you're not part of it and you just need a little pick-me-up, you definitely should join there. If you've made any of my patterns, even if you made it 5 years ago and you have a picture, post it. Everybody on there loves to compliment, and they're just so nice. And Barb and I see all the nice comments, and you know, we're just really excited about it. So if you haven't joined, come join us.
I'm watching for 350.
Barb is watching for 350. She's very excited about it. So will it be you? Let's see here. Just a quick little personal note. For any of you that follow all of my posts, and not just, here on Facebook Live, you saw that I posted something about my dog last weekend. I do share some personal things with you guys. I don't get super personal because that's not why we're here, but my dogs are a big part of my life. For all of you that asked and sent me emails and messages and comments and well wishes, Sam is doing fine. He had a little moment of dementia. He is old. He is 14, which in human years is like 100 and something. I don't do math that quick, but he's getting up there, and he had a moment where he decided to wander. We don't know why, and we honestly don't know how. Within 30 seconds, an 8-pound dog with a bad heart and 2 busted legs made it as far as he did, but we found him over a quarter of a mile from our house. But he is fine. He was stuck in a mud hole, chirping and waiting for someone to come find him. And the nice girl that lives in the next neighborhood over who found him, thank you. I still don't know your name, but thank you. So Sammy is good. The girls are taking care of him. Next week, next Friday, the magazine comes out, the 3rd installment of the Better Homes and Garden magazine. I can't wait to show you the magazine and show you the project that I have in there. As far as I know, it will be on sale on Friday, so you'll be able to find it online. And I do have some sources, the same ones I listed for you last time, but I know that was a couple months ago. I will tag a picture of the magazine when I'm allowed to, and I will let you know where you can get it. Unfortunately, I don't have the magazine, but I will help you guys to get that if you're interested. So it's bag number 3, which was previewed in the 2nd magazine, which is a backpack. So I'll show you guys that next week. We also have some more new cork coming. There is a new color that we're very excited about, and hopefully it will be here at some point today. So as soon as I get that cut, it'll be on the website. So keep a lookout for that. Also new, and I didn't bring all of it over because it's behind me on the shelf. We got some new Tula Pink True Colors. There is the hexagon in, I forget what this one's called, Peacock and Dove. I don't know if they're all named after birds, but, oh, Barb's trying to take it home with her. And Dove. I think this is my new favorite fabric. It's rainbow colored with gray background. I think I'm going to use it for everything if Barb doesn't steal all of it. There's more hexagons and some of the mineral print, which is a tone on tone. We have the topaz and emerald, so a pretty green and a blue. Those are all on the website, on the fabric page, down under the homemade fabric. And I told you that. And one other thing, and I'm not going to elaborate on this, but my mom and my husband had a really great idea. They both mentioned it at different times, and I kind of thought it over, and we're going to do something a little different that I really hope will be set up next week that I can show you guys. For locals, I think you'll be really interested, and for everybody else, it'll be a new place that I can show you guys. So maybe I might be expanding outside of this office. I don't know. But cross your fingers that I get the time and my mom and I can get it all done this weekend. You will see me at some point tomorrow for the drawing around 11. I will probably be sweaty and makeup free, so don't judge me. Yes, Barb. Did you? No?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. All right. So,
This is a hit.
okay. It's so pretty. And I'm telling you, I ordered it because it's Tula. I knew it was going to be amazing. Better in person. Better than the pictures. Better. Barb agrees. It's so pretty. She did a knockout job with this line. And in case you were wondering, the line work, the black and white line that comes out in October or November, I ordered the whole thing. So don't worry. We have more Tula coming. Okay, so I have 2 more things to tell you guys, and then we're going to do a drawing, and then we're going to talk about interfacing. So I have a question for you guys. If you would send me your opinions, you can leave them in the comments. You can, you can send me an email if you want. I am trying to get some more videos done on YouTube. I've just been a little bit overwhelmed the past couple of weeks with all the stuff going on. And then losing my dog was not really easy this weekend. It kind of threw me off and I couldn't get anything done. But anyway, and if you just tuned in, I didn't lose him, like he's gone. He actually got lost, now he's found. So what I want to do on YouTube is what we've already done, and do some free videos, some different projects, some tips and tricks. I know all the things that you guys have asked for. I do want to work on those. But I have a question for you, an opinion, which way you lean on this. If I was working on, let's say, this project, okay, we're going to make the trio zip pouches, just for instance. Would you rather have a video on this for free on YouTube that you get some tips and tricks? It's not going to tell you every aspect of the pattern, but it's going to give you, some things that will help you to make this. Or would you prefer a video that you will pay for, and not an exorbitant amount of money, but a video that you would pay for that will be there and at your disposal forever, that takes you step by step of the pattern. Step 1, step 2, everything from start to finish, so that it's basically like a class with me. Do you like both? Do you like one or the other? Would you prefer not to pay for things? I mean, obviously I don't like to pay for things, but that's life. So just throw me your opinion of what kinds of things that you like, what you found, because remember, YouTube is still new for me. I'm still figuring out what's the best for all of us. So I want your opinions. Drop them in the comments or send me an email. And Barb has a question. Yes.
Well, somebody just wants to know how do you sign up for the drawing. The drawing is closed, right?
The drawing is closed already. The listing was up until Monday, and that was on the listing as well because I needed time. Excuse me, time to get everything taken care of. Unfortunately, since it starts today, it is too late. But this, and that leads me into what I wanted to tell you guys next. This went over better than I had hoped, and I see no reason why we won't do this again in the future. You guys all seem to like this. And when I first announced this to you guys a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, I don't remember. It was an idea. I wanted to raise money for charity. I wanted to have fun with you guys and, do something where we all, get to do a little something for fun and for a good cause. And my hope was to at least get 15 people. I figured 15, it's a decent number. It's a decent amount of money to give. And it would be fun, just to get a variety. And a bunch of you right out of the gate bought your tickets. It was great. And then we kind of got a little here and there. And as of this week, when I was printing out all of the names, yesterday morning, I finished printing them, we had 24 people. And I thought, that's great, 24. And then I got an email from someone who said, is it too late? We can't find the listing. We want to join. And of course, I don't want to turn anyone away who wants to give to charity. So I said, sure. I said, I'll send you an invoice. And then I thought maybe there's some other people that might want to participate. So I put it on the Facebook page. And the last name came in at 6 a.m. this morning. Please don't do that to me anymore. That was very stressful. But this morning, we have 42 people in the drawing. 42. So that means I am writing a check today for $630 for the Humane Society, the Mohawk Hudson Humane Society. Thank you so much, and the animals thank you, and I think this is going to be super fun, and I wish that you could all win, but now there's so many of you, so cross your fingers, because I'm going to do the first drawing now. So as I mentioned, and as we've talked about, you have your name, this is all full of them, in here, and your name is in here for all 30 days. So for the next 30 days through August 22nd, I will be drawing names. And just because you win today doesn't mean you can't win again and again. I hope there's a variety of people. I know some of you hope you win every day, and I don't know how it's going to go. But I'm going to shake them up, and I'm going to pick a name, and then I'm going to pick a prize. There are some duplicates in here, but the prizes range from a few patterns up to a kit. And I'm just going to let you know this now. Some of them specifically say of your choice. So let's say that I pull a kit of your choice. I'm going to announce it here on all the Facebook Lives. I'm also going to write it on the Facebook page, and then I'm going to send you an email. That's why I want you to save my name in your contacts. If I don't hear back from you, your choice will become our choice, okay? So if there's something you have your eye on, make sure that you email me as soon as possible and say, this is the kit I want, or this is the color cork I want. Otherwise, we will choose for you. Okay, I think that's fair. I will give you, at least 24 hours, but we want to ship your stuff out immediately. Also in that email will be the coupon code to save 10% on an order. So if you win something and you want to add to it, you will get your coupon code. Keep in mind today and on the Fridays that we do this, because we're doing the live video, I will not be sending the email out until we're done. So don't panic if you don't see it. But are you guys ready? You want to see who wins? I'm shaking this up. I don't want to hear anybody say that I didn't do it fair, and I'm doing it live. Okay, are you ready? I know you're all ready. Okay, I'm not looking. Our name, Charles McDonald. Congrats, Charlie. I don't know if you're watching, you're usually here, but Charlie, you are the first winner. And
Yep, he's here.
yay! And Charlie, let's see what you won. All right. Well, if you like that fabric, let's see if we can get you some. Okay. Does Barb want to pick? Let's make Barb pick. Barb gets to pick your prize, Charlie.
Oh, Charlie, I can do right. Okay.
Oh, she picked a big one. All right. You got my favorite notions. You get a pair of scissors, a large clapper, and a 4-in-1 tool. So Charlie, that's for you. So as soon as we're done with this video, I will send you an email and I will give you your coupon code. And I will also put this on Facebook. Just so you guys know, the 30 days videos are going to be in and out real quick. Just me saying hello. There might be a dog around. There always is. Pulling the name, pulling the prize. I will keep the videos up until we're done with all the drawings in August, and then I'll probably just take them all down. But I will make sure that everybody knows that they won, and I have your addresses. So if you don't email me, that's fine. I still know how to get a hold of you. So.
He trusted me, but I failed him. I didn't get them.
Oh no. I'm sorry, Charlie. She tried her best, you know? All right, so let me just make sure. Maybe next time, because your name is going to go back in and you get to maybe win again. Okay, so do we have any questions before we go on?
No.
All right, so let's talk about interfacing. Okay, I tell you guys this every time and I'm going to say it again. My opinions, my findings, because it works for me or didn't work for me doesn't mean you'll have the same results. Please understand that I am not knocking anybody. Everybody makes their own choices. These are just my opinions of things that I tried, things that I like, things that don't work for me, and I'm going to tell you why. I don't have any hatred towards any of these products at all. They're all fantastic. I brought some that I don't even use, but they just might not work for my specific needs, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? So there's really no particular order for any of this stuff, so I'm just going to go into some of the information, just kind of FYI stuff for you when you're shopping for interfacing, and then we'll talk about the specific stuff. I have the ironing board out and I have the iron on because we're going to try something new together today, and I'm going to show you how I iron Decor Bond and fusible fleece. So, excuse me, we're going to work on that together. So, first things first, I do use Pellon products. The reason for that, there's a few of them. Pellon was the first brand that I found when I started making bags. It's easy to find. My local shop carries it. The box stores carry it. Amazon carries it. Everywhere that I need to, that I shop has it. I always go to my local quilt shop first because if we don't support them, they don't exist anymore. And Barb and I were just talking this morning. We've lost a few more in our area. So especially in times like this, let's support our quilt shops first and foremost. If they don't have it or can't get it, then what I like about Pellon is that you can find it in many other places, okay? I started buying it by the bolt a long time ago when I started making bags. And I do, play with some new stuff from time to time, but like all of us, we get comfortable with a certain thing, and I think that's why I use the things that I use, because I know that they work, I know that they will do what I want, and I know that they are good for the bags that I'm making. So that's why I use Pellon. There is Soft and Stable, which is a Buy Any product. I have that. We'll talk about it. There is Bozel. They make a lot of similar products to Pellon. And I know that there's a couple of other, I don't know the company that it's under, but Lazy Girl, she's a pattern designer. She has her own series of interfacings. I just can't remember what company, like what umbrella company they're under, but I see them pop up a lot. I have not worked with hers, so I can't comment on them. But Pellon is the brand that I tend to stick with. So a couple things about Pellon. If you're shopping wherever you are and you're out and about looking at Pellon, just to give you an idea about the bolts, when you look at a bolt and you see the color that's on here, this color is an indicator of what you're looking at. So Pellon color codes everything. All of your pink bolts that have the pink label on it, those are going to be very lightweight. Not all are fusible, it's kind of a mix, and they're for apparel. So if you're going to wear it, if you're going to put something on your collar or you're going to stabilize a piece of clothing, you don't want it to be hard and stiff. You want it to be soft. So most of the pink labeled things are going to be softer items. Doesn't mean that you won't use some of them or like some of them in bag making or quilting, but for the most part, that's what the pink means. Yellow, which is right here, this is the foam, which we'll get to. The yellow is for crafts and home decks. So crafts meaning bag making, meaning like those bowls that you can make, those shaped bowls, really anything that you're gonna make in the craft area that's not quilting. I don't really see a lot of this being useful in quilting, maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe Decor Bond or some of the fusible fleece. But for the most part, anything yellow tends to be where I go because that's what works for bags. And then there's green, which I don't have the bolt with me, but the fusible fleece and any of their battings, anything related to quilting is green. So fusible fleece, their batting, which they have some that's fusible, some that's not, all of those are going to be green. So I use mostly yellow, a little bit of green, and a little bit of pink. And Barb grabbed the fusible fleece. So the entire bolt on this one is green. Sometimes it's just a sticker. So just so you know, that is why they are color coded. Okay. And all of them come with instructions. And I don't like any of the instructions, and I'll tell you why. This is a horrible reference, but it's the only thing that I can think to explain how they write their directions. The commercials nowadays that tell you if you're allergic to a medication that you shouldn't take it, that's who these are written for. Like, we want to make sure that you're safe and that you know that the iron shouldn't go on the glue side, and that why don't you put a pressing cloth down, and why don't you use a damp towel. Some of their instructions are completely and utterly bizarre. Throw them away. Just throw them away because they don't make any sense. But some people need a little extra hand holding, and that's all I'm saying. It's not you guys, because you guys are all smart. That's why you're here watching my video, right? So, and they do also have two other things that you may or may not use depending on what you do. Not really bag related, but they have orange, which orange is on, it's not necessarily on the bolt. It's a lot of the packaging, like the fusible tape that's similar to what I sell. They're, same but different. Then there's also any of their fusible webs like Heat and Bond and Wonder Under. All of those are orange. Orange is fusible. And blue is embroidery. So if you do embroidery, I've never used Pellon embroidery products, but they do make them. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen them, maybe because I wasn't looking for them. But those are things that we're not going to talk about today because they really don't relate directly to bags. So just to kind of give you an idea. And if you go on the Pellon website, they do have a little information packet that you can download. You can look up different items. There's some, stuff on there that's really informative if you want any more information on stuff. So what I prefer when I'm making a bag is I prefer fusible. I am legitimately the laziest person I have ever met in my life. And I say that and people are like, that's not true. Look at all that you get done. I get all that done as a lazy person. If I was not lazy, I would get 10 times the amount done. But the couch and the TV call my name way too often. So because I'm lazy and I don't feel like, basting anything, I use fusible products. And I like fusible products, and I'm going to give you some tips on those today. I also tend to use non-woven products. The reason for that is because the products I've fallen in love with are non-woven, and all that means is that most of what I use is not cotton-based. It's usually a polyester or a polyester blend. Because of that, we're going to be careful with how we use the heat, okay? So those are just things that I look for, and if it's possible, I try to get things that are 44 inches wide. Because if I'm using fabric on a bolt that's 44 inches wide, I don't want to piece my interfacing. I don't want to have to do a lot of math to figure it out. I just want to roll out the piece of fabric for a handle and roll out a piece of interfacing, same size, and go on with my life. The interfacing part of the bag is not the fun part. It's the necessary part, but it's not the part that we see and that we get excited about. So if at all possible, most of what I use, fusible, non-woven, and 44 inches wide. So we're going to start with my favorite, with Decor Bond, which is in this pile somewhere. I have a lot of stuff here, and it's not in any order. Oh, but look, Decor Bond's on top. So that's a first. Decor Bond is number 809. Should I hold that closer? Can you see? Is it good? Okay. I'm just going to drive Barb crazy and make her get up 15 times.
Yeah.
That's a good, okay. Good angle. So Decor Bond number 809. I will hold all of them up close for you so that you can see the number, and I will tell you the information that's on here. So we're good, because now I know it's an arm's length to the camera, and we're good. So why Decor Bond? Trust me, I get a lot of emails from people that say, I hate Decor Bond. I can't get it to stick. It's terrible. I hear it all. I used Decor Bond from day one. I fell in love with it and I like it, and I'm going to tell you why. Decor Bond is a medium weight, okay? So it's not super stiff and heavy. It gives a really nice firmness to the bag, but it's not so heavy that if I use it inside and outside that it's going to make the bag hard to turn. I don't want to use something that's so stiff that the bag looks nice once I get it turned, but turning it was a killer. I want to use something that I can turn, press it, and I'm good to go. I get a lot of people that complain that the Decor Bond wrinkles when they turn it. I don't have an explanation for that because when I'm done turning a bag and I press it, I don't find that it's super wrinkly. And I know the bags behind me are not used, but the bag that I am using is not wrinkly to me. So I don't know if it's because it's not properly adhered and your fabric is wrinkling, but we're going to talk about that when we get to the ironing part. So Decor Bond for me is an always. This is always on my lining pieces. Always. This is always on the outside of my bag. Sometimes I add a layer of fleece. We're going to get to that in a minute. But Decor Bond is always my first layer. So if I'm making a bag, what bag has it? So if I'm making a bag like Kaylee back here, this one's out of cork, so this is a little bit different. But if I'm making Kaylee that has that jewel hardware and the heavy hardware in the front, it always has a layer of this on the back of the fabric and then a layer of fleece on top of it. That's my my go-to magic formula. You know, everybody has one that they find that works for them, and every bag designer is different. So for me, Decor Bond is something I always have on hand. We sell it online. I use it all the time. We're gonna go over how to iron it and get it to stick better, and I'm gonna show you using the clapper, how I use that to help me out. If you are in a pinch and you can't find Decor Bond, because every once in a while it seems to go out of stock and it's gone, you can use 808. And if you're looking right now for it, we have it on the website. Remember, we have free shipping in the US. But 808 is called Craft Fuse. It is almost identical. It's very much like a smidge, a hair thinner, and it's only 20 inches wide. But if I am out of Decor Bond and I'm in a pinch and they have 808, one number less, I will get 808. Just remember, double the amount. If I need a yard of this, I need 2 yards of this because this is only 20 inches. This is 44. So this one, I always, just in case I'll have a little bit of a round, I don't notice a difference in my bags. Back in the day when I had an association with Pellon years ago, it did not start that way. I used it, found them, long story. But they used to do everything in numerical order where the higher the number, the heavier the product. Some things have been added in between, some things have changed. That's not always true, but in this case, 808 is a slight bit less than 809, but still works the same. So in a pinch, okay? And get rid of that because I don't need it. Who knew? I know. So Decor Bond. I'm going to leave this out because we're going to talk about this more. So one other thing with Decor Bond, and I don't find that I need this, but sometimes you might find that your bag needs to be a little stiffer and a little bit heavier. You can double that up. There is absolutely no problem with fusing a layer of it and then fusing a layer on top. The only thing to watch out for is when you iron on the Decor Bond side to be careful that you don't wrinkle it and warp it. And again, some of this we're going to get to later because I got to get the iron out to show you that. So you can double up. I've used Decor Bond on wall hangings and like little things that I want to keep really crisp if I'm going to hang them up. I don't want a droopy quilt on my wall. So I find a lot of uses for Decor Bond also outside of bag making. So let me see here what I have next. Well, next naturally is going to be the other product that I really like, which is the fusible fleece. So that is the 987F. That is fusible fleece. So like I said, my little magic combination, when I have hardware or when I want a firmer, more body in a bag, not a body in a bag. I don't know why things come out of my mouth sometimes. Hold on, I'm gonna drink coffee. When I want more body and stability to the bag, we don't make body bags. Oh, Lord. Welcome to Friday. If this is your first video with us, welcome. So I don't tend to use fusible fleece by itself unless I'm quilting something of my own that's small, which Barb will tell you that doesn't happen a lot because she quilts for me. But like if I think I've done some little cozies and little like mug rugs and things like that. For something like that, I'll use this as my batting because it's fusible. But other than that, I don't tend to use the fusible fleece unless I'm using it in combination with Decor Bond. So again, I would always put Decor Bond down first and then I put fusible fleece on top of it, and I will show you how I can get that to press. The reason is, on a piece of cotton fabric with a layer of Decor Bond, it's not quite heavy enough when you're putting hardware on, or if you have a twist lock that needs that little bit of extra room. Remember, we talked about how you have to cut that hole. We want the hardware to not float. So I find that that combination seems to work. If it's in a flap or anything kind of movable like that, one layer is fine. I don't tend to do 2 layers of this and any of that because it can be a little too heavy. But I will use a layer of this on the front and back of a bag with the Decor Bond, and it sews really nicely. You can always cut it short. And I usually tend to do that just to keep the bulk out of the seams, especially when you turn. You don't want to turn a seam and have like a really wide outside of a piece, like a flap that's thick on the outside and thin in the middle. So you can cut it short. It doesn't have to be all the way to the seams, okay? So that's kind of my little magic combo here. Again, if you are in a pinch, and we do sell fusible fleece on the website as well, if you can't find this, but you can find this, which is the TP971F, the fusible thermolam, you can use this. For me, for bag making, for my patterns, totally interchangeable. The difference is this is a softer, like it feels softer. You're not going to feel it when it's in the bag. They're about the same thickness. This has the glue on one side, so does this. They're needled differently, and so that's why one feels softer and one feels a little bit more rough. In the bag, they feel the same. So if you are out of one or you grab the other one by accident, not a problem. And I always confuse them and think that this is the fleece because it's softer, because to me fleece is soft. It's the opposite, but it does not matter. You can use either of these interchangeably. So since we're talking about the thicker stuff, let's jump over to soft and stable, because I get asked a lot, why don't you use soft and stable? Why don't you use that in your bags? It's such a great product. And you are absolutely right. Soft and stable, if you're not familiar, is a by Annie product. It comes in the white or cream. It comes in black. I borrowed these from my local shop. I will be returning them tomorrow. But I don't use these, and there's a couple reasons why. The product is wonderful. It has amazing uses. And if you've ever met Annie Unrein, she's a doll. She's the sweetest person I've ever met. But if you look at her bags, what she tends to make are not purses. She makes more functional organizers and, travel kind of bags, backpacks. She makes a different style of bags where I make more purses and wallets and little zippered pouches. So for me, the reason that this doesn't work is, number one, I don't quilt my bags. And she quilts all of her bags. It's part of the process of making what she makes. And it looks beautiful. But this product, when you quilt it, it's gorgeous because it really retains the quilting. It makes it like just really not puffy, but it really shows off the quilting, and it gives a nice feel to the bag. In the package, it feels kind of stiff, but once it's quilted, it's actually really soft. I felt a lot of bags that were made out of it. Have you ever quilted anything with soft and stable? Do you like quilting it? Is it easy?
Yeah.
So Barb is a long armor. She has quilted stuff with the soft and stable and likes it. So that's probably the number one reason why I don't use it, because I don't quilt my bags. So it doesn't do the same thing for me that it's meant to do. The other reason I don't use soft and stable, going off of that, because I don't quilt it, which means I don't compress it and sandwich it down and make it a little bit thinner with the quilting, it's too thick for some of the hardware. Some of it will work, some of it won't. You can put this in a Diva wallet. You can put this in a Prima Diva. That frame will still slide on. You really don't want to put this in a Kaylee bag or an Ellie bag where you have hardware that goes through with prongs or goes through with screws. Those screws are not meant for this thickness. I had somebody try this in a class once with, I think she was making the all-around tote with a twist lock. It took some time. It took both of us pushing. We got the twist lock in, but those screws are not meant to have all that thickness. So for my bags, this is not the best product. Works in some, not great in others. The Taurus tote bag, I think you could absolutely do it in. Some of the bags without hardware, or if you put it in certain places, I think absolutely. Dividers, this would be great in the all-around tote, in the divider. Wonderful product, just not the product for me personally. But if you ever get the chance and go to any shows and meet Annie, she's the sweetest person ever. You can tell her I said that. I love her to pieces. So she's really great product, and she has great bags. Off of the Soft and Stable, if you're looking for something like that and your local shop doesn't have it and you can't find it because, and I could be wrong on this, I believe that Annie only sells through shops. I don't think that she does online with like patterns and stuff. She might sell soft and Stable online. I could be totally wrong, but if you're in a pinch and you want that, I do use sometimes the Pallon foam. This is the Flex foam. This is the two-sided fusible. They also have a single-sided fusible. I have, again, tried some bags with this. This and that are very comparable. I like that this is fusible. I thought that this would be a great product in the bags. It kind of, again, gave me the same difficulties because I don't quilt them and with the hardware. But this on a bag that you want to diffuse the fabric to and try your own quilting out or use it for some extra stiffness, it's great. I keep a bolt of it around because I cut it and make mock-up bags so I can see the size of it because it will stand up on its own. But you will not find this written into any of my patterns as of right now. I always say that because as soon as I say never, then I end up using it. As of today, you will not find that written into any of my patterns. So Soft and Stable and the foams for me are a no just because of what I do, okay? And let me see, just so I don't forget. Okay, let's see. And then here, this is also something that I don't use, but just in case you're ever wondering, is Insulbright. This is by the Warm Company. So that's Insulbright. I don't use this because I don't make anything that needs to be heat protected. And this is for oven mitts. As you can see the outline of the pattern that's here. This is for trivets and pot holders and oven mitts. Unless you put your purse in the oven, I don't think that you need this. And I don't do that. But if you were ever wondering what is Insulbright, that's what it is. So again, I borrowed this and I will be returning it, but it comes in a package. There is a yard here. It's 45 inches wide. Keep it hot, keep it cold. If you're making a lunchbox or anything like that, this would be a great product. It's insulated insole. It's got the silver kind of woven in there. There's a lot of math going on in chemistry and I don't get into that, but that's what that is. Again, this I don't use, but wanted to show you. I was at Log Cabin yesterday and just grabbed whatever I didn't already own and took it home with me and said, I'll bring it back. So those are our foams and fleeces and thick stuff. So let's go backwards a little bit here. If you are using a fabric that is lightweight, that you can see through, maybe it's an inexpensive fabric that you fell in love with, maybe it's a piece of clothing you're making into a bag. I had a panel once that had a white background and it was very see-through and very, I felt a little too flimsy for a bag. I use either the SF-101, which I don't have here, but that is, I always forget the name of it. SF stands for Shape Flex. I can never remember those letters. You can use SF-101, which is, I don't think fusible. It is fusible. Okay, the SF-101 is fusible. Good for t-shirt quilts, good for anything that you need a little extra stability. Or I use the fusible featherweight. This is number 911FF. So the number, there it is. So I've used this. This is a little heavier than the SF-101, but this works just fine and it doesn't add any thickness to your bag. It just kind of adds an extra layer of protection. It kind of stops the see-through-ness. I'm making up words as I go. But I use this sometimes if I need it. If you are working on something and you want a little bit of extra interfacing, but you don't want it stiff, decor bonds too much. I know I'm fascinating you guys, my new vocabulary words. Last week we learned that boing is a word, and today we're learning see-throughness. So if you need a little extra something, you can use some of this. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to add too much thickness. It's not something I use all the time. It's more for me when I need it because a fabric isn't quite doing what I want it to do. There are a lot of bag designers because I'm in other bag groups and I hear people constantly, I use SF-101 all the time. They use the Shape Flex in everything. My opinion, just for my stuff, Shape Flex and this is not enough for me. If I put this in a lining, it's still too soft. I don't like my lining super droopy because over time cotton fabric stretches. I like my fabric to have some stiffness to it because I want it to hold up, and I don't want to worry that it's going to be very loose and baggy. So for me, I don't use this a ton. And Barb has a question.
Well, Charlie just made a comment about the SF-101.
Yes.
That people use it for stretchier fabrics when they want to use it for a bag.
Yes. So Charlie made a really good point that the SF-101 people use in bags when they want to take some of the stretch out of fabrics. Again, going back to t-shirt quilts made out of knits,
Yes.
That's why it's really good because it does help with that. I have seen a lot of people use this as the inside, like just on the back of their lining fabric, and it's fine. I'm not knocking anybody, but my personal taste, and I know how rough I am on bags, this isn't enough for me, and I want the inside of the bag to stand up as much as the outside, because if the outside's doing all the work, eventually it's going to droop, and I like my bag to be firm inside and out. So it's a personal thing. I keep some of this around just in case I have a fabric that needs a little extra something, or every so often in a pattern of mine, like especially on the wallets when there's a lot of little pieces, that fabric that isn't interfaced, I'm fine with, but somebody might want it interfacing and they'll use something like this or the Shape Flex. That's totally fine to add that in. So use that as kind of a little extra, but it's not what I categorize as interfacing. It's more of a stabilizer, okay? So that was that. Just making sure I haven't forgotten anything because I do every week. I showed you guys the foam, so I'm going to get rid of that. And now let's go to the stiffest thing that you can put in a bag, and I can't. It is the Peltex 71F. You see that? Do you see how hard this is? I love this. Supposedly. So Barb asked, can you sew through this? Can I sew through this? Do I? No. Some people do. And I know, I can't remember her name. Anila, is it Hoey or Hui? She's a ethnic name and I can't pronounce it right, and I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. She does a lot of like zippered pouches and little organizer things. She uses this in her patterns, but she tells you not to sew through it, or she'll use it in a step where you're sliding it in and then fusing it down. The Peltex comes in non-fusible, single-sided fusible, which is this, and double-sided fusible. So it depends on your project. Personally, I don't think I want to sew through this, and I think that only my HD9 I would be comfortable trying. I feel like there's a lot here to sew through. So if I was going to use this, I would make sure it was not in the seam allowance. I have fused two pieces of this together. You see how thick that is? And then made like a little pillowcase to make a bottom for a bag. You remember a while ago, I haven't seen them in a long time, the bag bottoms that were acrylic and they were fancy. They were super expensive and only cut to certain size bags. I don't even know if they make those anymore. I haven't seen them in years. Instead of buying those, I would make a bottom out of this and then cover it in fabric. And then if I wanted to wash the bag, or if I needed to, if it got dirty, I could take it out and make a new one. So that's mostly what I use this for. But you may see this pop up sometimes. I did have somebody, and forgive me, I don't know if you're watching or not, I cannot remember who it was. She either sent me an email or asked me in the Facebook group if she could substitute this or something along these lines in one of the tote bags. And I said, I probably wouldn't do that, because if you are using this on, I think it was the all-around tote, which has all the pockets around the outside, if you are putting this in the tote and then putting pockets on, and I don't know if this was also going in the pockets, that's a lot of thickness to go through. And unless you have an industrial machine, I don't know that I would want to do that. And I also don't think that you would turn your bag very easily. If you do a drop-in lining, probably okay, because you wouldn't have to turn this as much, but this is a tricky one. So I keep this around for those times I want something in the bottom, but I don't tend to use this in the bag. And Barb has another question.
Well, somebody said they use that in the bottom of grocery bags, but they sew around it, never through it.
Yes, so somebody commented that they use this in the bottom of grocery bags, and what a fantastic idea, because we're all using recyclable bags now. I don't know where you live, but New York back in March got rid of plastic bags and then brought them back.
But they're going away again.
But they're going away again. Welcome to New York. We don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening anymore. First I couldn't have them, now I can again. But if you're making your own grocery bags, obviously if you're carrying your milk and your heavy bottles, this would be awesome in that. So whoever left that comment, great idea. Sherry LaPointe, thank you. good idea. This is great in the bottoms of those bags. And I'm assuming that you would wash your grocery bags from time to time. So either I would probably make this as a separate piece that I could take out, or like Sherry had said, sew around it, not through it. So that's a little bit about that. And now we're going to talk about something brand new that I have not played with, and we're going to experiment with it together, and then we're going to do a little bit of ironing. So I'm going to pull this over here, okay?
I do have one question.
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention.
Okay, Barb's not paying attention, and now she wants to know
Because
something.
I really want you to put the formula that you were talking about on the Facebook page.
Okay, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who asked that, but the question was, can I put my formula on the Facebook page as like what I use for bags? Absolutely. If you're talking about the Decovil, the fleece, the combo, yeah, I can write something up of, where I use those items and when I use them. That's not a problem at all. So I hope that was the question. If not, clarify and tell me that I'm totally wrong. So I'm going to pull this over and grab my iron, which is asleep now. I bought this iron and I didn't realize in the middle of filming a YouTube video that there is a restart button, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. Luckily, it wasn't a live video, so I was able to go back, but it has a restart button that you have to push. So I want to just grab a couple things, and I have, what did I do with those scraps of fabric? Could you grab those for me, please? I am such a pain. I'm going to grab a couple things and show you how I iron.
Strawberry too?
No, I'll eat my strawberries later, thank you. No. All right. So, and hold on 1 second. I'm just going to unmic for a second.
Aw, look at that. Kathleen said, we can't hear you, Barb. Hi, Kathleen. Hopefully you can hear.
Somebody just said that they can't hear Barb, and I know. We are working on hopefully, getting some new mics so that Barb can be mic'd too. And then when she asks me a question, you guys can hear her ask the question and I won't have to repeat it to you. We are still figuring out all this technology. There's so much to know, and I have already spent so much money buying equipment because that's my new fun thing to buy. So, before I get into the new thing, I want to do a little bit of Decovil and fusible fleece pressing. Why do I keep losing everything? The fusible fleece I just took out and lost. Oh, it's right here.
Right there.
Can I have a pair of scissors, please? Because I don't think I should use a rotary cutter right now. I don't.
Good ones.
So, quick story for you guys, just to let you know. As you know, my dog, the one that wandered, he's very old and he has a heart problem and leg problems and some form of dog dementia. It's a thing. Our last dog had it as well. And sometimes he doesn't like when I sleep. So he keeps me up all night long by barking incessantly, whining, and then also coughing, which is not his fault. And some days I'm really tired, and it's always on Thursday night before I need to make a live video. So,
That was Siri repeating you.
oh, Siri is repeating me. Okay. So, I have a clapper here, okay? And I have a piece of fabric. I'm using just a piece of canvas because it's what I grabbed. It doesn't matter if it's canvas or cotton. I have a very small piece of Decovil because I had already cut this for something else that I was doing. And I have a piece of fleece. So I'm just going to give you guys a couple of tips on pressing this. So the Decovil, and I know it's not going to pick up on camera, but I will try. This is the side right here. Hopefully it's reflecting. It's shiny. That is my glue side, okay? And then this is the side that is not shiny. That is the side that is okay to touch the iron on. Now, remember, this is a polyester blend product. This is not cotton. So the more heat I put on this, the more likely I am to wrinkle it and to wrinkle my fabric. And I'm going to try to wrinkle it right now because I want to show you guys how you can fix that if it happens. So what I always do is I lay my Decovil shiny side up on the ironing board and I take my fabric wrong side down, okay? And I put that on there. My iron is on linen. That's my hottest setting. It is on steam. And I don't do this. I don't do the pressing thing. I don't hold and count, and I don't iron. You don't want to push and force because you're going to stretch your fabric. Your fabric is cotton, it's going to stretch. So I kind of take it and I'm not putting pressure. I'm just kind of like rolling it around and I use my steam just like that. And then I'll take it over here for a few seconds. I concentrate on the corners just like that. And then after I know that I've gotten it set in place, I flip it over and I can usually see if there's any spots that haven't stuck. And I can see right here, I didn't do a good job on that corner. So if I need to, I will take the iron and I try not to keep it on there long and I kind of iron across the edge there and then I'll flip it over and do it again here. Now I'm gonna leave this on here. Do not do this at home. I'm gonna try to get this to wrinkle, although it is canvas, which is a slight bit heavier. It might not do what I want it to do. Of course, it's not going to.
When you get a chance,
yes.
Explain again what a clapper is.
Okay, yes, I'm gonna explain what the clapper is because I'm hoping that it's gonna let me do it. And of course, it doesn't want to wrinkle because it knows that I want it to. So we're gonna have to pretend because I'm trying as hard as I can to make this shrivel up and it doesn't want to. That's the great thing about canvas. Cotton. Barb's gonna grab me a piece of cotton. So the clapper, it's a block of wood. It has grooves on the side here for your fingers. This is the large. We also have a smaller version. And with this, what you're going to do, if you are ironing cork seams or something thick, or if you have a piece of fabric, like hopefully this will do, that wrinkles, you can use it to smooth out the wrinkles. And what happens is, there we go. I'm just gonna take a piece of this off my little spot. Is there a scrap there? Oh, perfect. Okay. So what I do with the clapper, because what it does is it absorbs the heat that is already in the fabric from the iron, and it absorbs that heat, and so it kind of helps to iron from both sides. And I'm going to actually do what I told you not to do, and I'm going to iron on the wrong side to see if I can get this to wrinkle. Now that you can see that it's kind of peeling up, because the Decovil really doesn't want that much heat all at once on the back side of it. I'm trying to make this go poorly, and it doesn't want to. But then I sew a zipper and I break a needle when I don't want to do that either. Okay, I don't want it to wrinkle.
No.
We'll see what happens. So when I have any kind of seams that are thick that I need to press, or I have any kind, you've got to be kidding. It doesn't want to. Or if I am having problems with Decovil not sticking or wrinkling, it's not happening. I will take the clapper and let's say, oh, there's a tiny wrinkle. You can't see it, but I can. And I will take this and I kind of smooth, or I press like this, and that helps to smooth everything out. You can leave it in place. You can put pressure on it. It keeps your seams flat. It helps to get this to stick. Okay. And now it's on there. This is not coming off. So now let's talk about how I use fleece. I'm just going to cut this off. All right.
Hi, Eleanor.
I had an Eleanor Burns moment. Nope, still doesn't want to wrinkle. But look at my fog machine here. Okay, so I have this. This is for an outside of a bag that's going to get hardware. I have Decovil on it. I'm going to take my fleece now, and this I kind of do in two steps. I put my fleece with the bumpy side up, so glue side is up. I take this with the interfacing side, the wrong side of the fabric, down. And I just take my iron and I kind of warm it up a little bit. Just a little, iron over that, and then I flip the piece over, and then I take my iron and I iron around. Press, iron, it's kind of a mix of both. I'm not pressing, I'm not really ironing. But if I do this, you don't get that wrinkled edge that happens if you've ever just taken your iron right to fleece or thermolam. Sometimes on the edge, it shrivels right up and it gets really small, and it kind of, it rolls almost a little bit. It looks like it's kind of gluing itself together. If you iron on the fabric side first to warm it up, and then flip it over, and then do this, and you can use steam. I use steam on everything. You will get a much better stick here. It's not going to go anywhere. And yes, this is a tiny piece. If you're working on a big piece, it's going to take some time. The bigger the piece with interfacing and fleece, the more time it takes to get it to adhere. Again, if I need my clapper, I can kind of, smooth that out. I use the clapper when it comes to interfacing for wrinkles, and I use it for seams to flatten them out. If you haven't watched the handle video that we did, was it 2 weeks ago? I think it was 2 weeks ago. And I talked about the cork handles. Actually, I have one right here. This right here, this seam on the cork, to get this to lay flat, I used the clapper. So I ironed it and then I used the clapper. And I use these all the time. I have several of them at home. If I'm making a long handle, I'll kind of line them up to keep everything flat. Because one thing about interfacing, especially the Decor bond and the medium to heavy weights, just because I want this to stay like this and I iron it, a lot of times it opens. So if I iron it and then use my clapper, I can put pressure on it, or I can walk away and do something else. Let that cool, let the wood help to absorb the heat and kind of cool it, and can get it to lay flat. And I do that for handles because when I'm folding all this and I have this big thick handle, it doesn't want to stay. So that's why I use the clapper. The clapper was not intentionally part of this, but it does relate to interfacing. So we're going to do one more thing before we call it a day. And you guys are going to experiment with me with something that I keep getting asked about. So I'm curious if you guys have heard about it as well. I don't know how I feel about it because I haven't used it yet. This is called Decovil. You see that? So I was at a show a year ago, maybe. I don't really remember where it was. And this person had come up to me. She makes my Diva wallet. And she said, have you tried Decovil? It's awesome. You should try it instead of Decor Bond. I had heard of it. I was told a long time ago that Decovil is a European product that is an equivalent to Decor Bond. However, looking at this and feeling this does not feel equivalent. It feels much heavier and thicker. One of the things about Decovil that it says right here on the package, that it is a leather-like fusible stabilizer. So it does have a sticky side, I can feel. It is tear resistant, durable, and the cutting edges stay formed. Great for belts, hats, handbags, crafts, and home decor. I'm just looking at the items that are on this right here. These to me look a little out of my comfort zone. They look like they're more leather and really formed shaped bags, but we're going to try it today. So you and I are experimenting for the first time together to see how we like this. I don't know anything about this. I'm not even looking at the directions. They're in there somewhere. I guess we'll take a look. I'll do the right thing. So place it shiny side to the back of fabric, cover with a damp press cloth. I'm not going to do that. And if it goes wrong, it's my fault. Fuse on low for 4 to 8 seconds. I'm also not going to do that because I just do whatever I want. Let fabric cool, check bond, repeat if necessary. It is 42% polyester, 35% viscose, and 23% polyamide. I don't know. It says it was made in Germany.
Apparently some people are familiar with this stuff.
Okay.
That's Decovil Heavy,
This is Decovil Heavy.
and there is a Decovil Light.
I did see that there was a Decovil Heavy and Decovil Light. I just ordered this, and it doesn't say, it just says Decovil.
And regular Decovil is more like Peltex.
More like Peltex? Okay. Oh, so this one. So this is heavy. This to me, this 526 Decovil feels closer. I'm wondering if the Decovil Light is going to be closer to Decor Bond. The one thing that interested...
Charlie said.
Thank you, Charlie.
Is, like Decor Bond.
Okay, Charlie says that 525 is more like Decor Bond. Well, I have 526 today, so we're going to see what happens. And this is the heavier one. So I'm just going to cut a piece and we're going to see what happens, because why not? And now I understand why, because I thought this doesn't feel like Decor Bond. That's why. So what I liked about this, what appealed to me when this person, and again, I don't remember who it was because I am terrible. When she showed me her wallet, I touched it and it felt very firm, but it wasn't wrinkled, and it had like just a nice, almost boutique-like feel to it. It didn't feel like it was possible that she made it at home, if that makes any sense. It felt like she almost had like a piece of paper in it, like it was a brand new wallet that had never been used, and she said she'd used it for quite a while. So this is heavy, but we're going to see how it adheres. I've got a piece of canvas one that doesn't have Decor Bond on it. There's my shiny side, and there's my canvas. It's rolling because it was on a roll. But I am on the linen setting, and I'm using steam because I don't care. I don't care if this gets ruined. We'll see what happens.
That's what you do.
If I don't experiment, then you won't know, and then you'll have to experiment, and then you'll ruin your iron, and you'll be mad. And I'll just do it. I'll just take it out of Barb's pay. So she doesn't need the money anyway. She comes here for the entertainment. That's why you guys are here, isn't it?
Exactly.
To see what I can mess up this week. Oh, there should be a blooper reel.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to set the clapper on it, make sure it has a good adhesion, and I'm going to leave it for a few seconds and let it cool off, and then we're going to see how it feels.
There's somebody that does videos that uses that in the base of their bags for a stiff, firm bottom.
So somebody said that there is a person that makes videos and uses. What is the name?
Lauren Mormino.
I don't know that name. Is that the person that commented or the videos?
No, that's who the video.
Lauren
Mormino.
Mormino. No,
Mormino.
no, Lauren.
Lauren.
Oh, by the way, while we let this cool, I just want to throw this out there for all of you in the 30 days of giveaways. I'm only going to do this once. I'm going to butcher your name. Some of you have names that I cannot pronounce. And as somebody who also has a name that nobody can pronounce correctly, I apologize now. I'm only apologizing once. Charles McDonald, I got that one. Some of you have names that will come out really wrong. Please forgive me. I am literate. It just doesn't seem that way some days. But my last name is Vandenberg, and I have gotten more strange pronunciations than you can even imagine. So forgive me when I pronounce your name wrong.
They want to know, what kind of water do you use in your iron? Do you use faucet water?
What kind of water do I use in my iron? Schenectady, New York faucet water. I purchased one of those steam irons, those, I don't know the name of the brand, and I'm not going to say it just in case anybody sees it, but I bought a steam iron. One of those looks like this, but it's like got all the holes, and it's just made for steam, and it's high pressure, amazing, the best thing ever. And you had to use distilled water or something fancy in that, and I did all that, and I just didn't think that it was making any difference. I'm sure it's for the mechanics of the iron, but I didn't feel like that iron was performing any better than tap water. So for me, tap water, unless a bottle of water happens to be nearby. And one little tip that I learned a while ago that I try to do as much as possible is to empty the iron when you're done and leave the cap open. So it is supposed to help with rust and buildup. Listen.
Mine has water in it 24/7.
I read it online, so therefore it's true. But I'm just saying, I do try that, and do I think that it makes any difference? Do I know that it makes any difference? No, I don't know anything. But I do it because it made sense to me that if there's any kind of residue in here, Barb leaves water in her iron all the time, and hers is fine, so what do I know? So, let's see how this Decovil looks. Oh, that adhered nicely. It's hard. So the heavy is heavy. I'm going to try to get my hands on some of the light. We can look at that maybe in another video and see what we think about it. Charlie's used it, and I trust Charlie. He knows what he's talking about. So we're going to try that out. This is definitely more of the Pell Text equivalent for sure. I do like the feel of this a little better. The Pell Text is kind of crunchy, if that makes sense. This does have like a leather-like kind of feel. It's very soft. I don't hate it. I don't know if this particular one, the 526, has a place in any of the bags yet, but maybe the 525 will. So Charlie, thank you for the information. I'm going to try to get a hold of that, and we'll play with that in another time. I think that's everything I had for interfacing. Let me just see.
One other comment.
Oh, another comment.
Sue Smith says she's tried the Decovil light on places that need a little extra thickness.
Okay.
Like under a Diva frame. Prefers to cut a narrow piece of Decor Bond 809.
Okay, so another viewer, our friend Sue Smith, said that she has tried it in places that require, and I'm sorry, the Decovil 525, the lighter one. She has tried it in places that need a little bit of extra thickness, but still prefers the 809, the Decor Bond. Mm-hmm. Okay, but see, this is why bag making is so, I can't tell you the right and wrong answers to anything because we all have our own right and wrong. So just because I told you I don't like Soft and Stable, if you like it and found a use for it, by all means use it. You know, just because something doesn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. And, you know, I don't want you to ever think that I am knocking anybody's decisions or that I think that you're wrong, because you're all right. Every one of you is correct. If you get to the end and it looks the way you want it to and you're happy, then you did it right. I am not one of those teachers that's going to tell you that, you know, you did it absolutely wrong. I'm going to help guide you if I think something won't work, like Peltex in place of Decor Bond. I'm going to say no to that one. But if you want to use Soft and Stable instead of fleece and it works for you, then use that. So take my word, but also use it how it needs to be used for your benefit. Don't think that everything I do is Bible, because it's not. Barb's shaking her head. She knows. I just found that I am the most successful with what I've done in these steps. And the reason I keep doing it is because I know it works and I know you can find the products. And I know if I put it in a pattern and you're not here with me, talking to me in a class with me telling you yes, no, do this, do that, that I feel that you will be successful at home. So I don't think we have any more questions. I hope that that answered all of your interfacing questions. Again, if you have any questions about interfacing, you are welcome to comment. The video will be saved, and I do answer all of those questions. If you want to send me an email, you're welcome to. And we do have one more question. Yes.
Well, no, they want you to put all this information on the Facebook page too.
Okay. All right. I will write something up. I can't promise you it will be today, but I will get something put together on what we talked about for interfacing. And I will try to also put that in the file portion of the bag group. Like I said, this weekend, my mom and I have some plans that will hopefully result in something I can show you next week. I'm very excited about it. I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 just for a few minutes for the next drawing. Charlie, I'm sending you an email in the next half an hour with the information. And other than that, I think we're good. So if you have any questions, let us know. And other than that, have a great weekend. And we will see you guys Friday at 10, just this Friday. All right. Thanks.